Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome into the final hour. Doc, Jeff, and Heather in the morning on the Sports Animal. Special day today, and I'm really excited and also honored that our two guests are in the studio with us today and will spend an hour with us. Kenny Chesney from nearby Luttrell, Gibbs graduate, and Condredge Holloway, one of the great legends of Tennessee football. Both are friends of mine, and I just want you to know, as a friend, I appreciate you coming in and talking to us this morning.
Very much.
Condredge, I don't get to see you as much as Heather does.
Well, she comes to all the practice.
I told Condredge out in the hallway, I go, until I watched the documentary, I had no idea what a big deal you are because you're so nice. I mean, he's just always treated me great.
I'm not a big deal, and it doesn't take much to be nice.
It doesn't take a lot of effort, does it? All right, the documentary is called The Color Orange, and it documents the life and career of Condredge Holloway, and narrated by Kenny Chesney. How much time did you two spend together putting this together in the filming process, Kenny?
Actually, not time spent together. It was just a couple of days, really. But time making the film was, around 5-6 months.
Did you have to pay to have the lights on at Neyland Stadium when you were doing the shooting there?
That's a David Elliott question,
Well,
maybe.
Did we go to Neyland Stadium?
Oh, that wasn't Neyland Stadium. I'm sorry.
I don't think we did that.
Yeah, we're busted.
And from what I saw, you were 1 for 1 for a touchdown.
That's what you saw.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was going to ask
it's
how
called
many.
You're exactly right.
Hey, funny story yesterday. Then we can get on business.
No, it's fine.
Condredge is such a competitor, and it's one of the things we touch on in the film. Ray Trail said, if I taught him to play tennis, he'd beat me in 3 weeks. He never played tennis before in his life. Well, yesterday, Condredge and I spent all day at ESPN up there doing basically everything. And we went into some office, and they had this this little putt-putt game in somebody's office. I said, Condredge, come in here a minute. And I said, I'll bet you $5 I can hit more balls out of 6 than you can. Well, I hit 3 out of 6. And he got up there and basically closed his eyes and hit 6 out of 6. I threw my I said, that's why we're doing a film on Condredge Holloway.
Don't you know that's what he does now? He plays golf for a living.
I just got busted again.
I was about to say, Condredge works really hard being a liaison for players in the NFL to the university. I mean, he's answering phone calls. I can vouch
Busy
for
man.
him being
And
really
practice.
busy.
And
at
practice.
He is also a cherished member of celebrity SWAT teams because he
that's
contributes.
See, I was going to ask you, Condredge, because the documentary didn't have anything in there about your ping pong playing, too, because I always heard you were pretty mean at a ping pong table.
Well,
You didn't know it was going to be a roast, did you?
I saved that for the next little smart butt that comes up and wants to play ping pong.
You just saved it for him,
We're gonna
right?
find out.
All right, let's get to Condredge Holloway, and again, I thoroughly enjoyed. We got an advanced copy of the documentary.
Now, you haven't seen it, is that right?
I haven't seen
You
the
haven't
total
seen it.
thing, no.
Wow.
You'll absolutely love it. I mean, I just think it was one of the classiest things that I've seen to try to get that message across. You were the first black quarterback in the SEC. And the thing that I wanted to ask you is, you went to a private school up until your high school days. Then in high school, you and I have a mutual friend, Randy Davidson. His father was a Church of Christ preacher. He was my roommate in junior college.
It was my hideout for recruiting. When they couldn't find me,
Oh, really?
I was at Randy Davidson.
That is awesome.
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I knew that you spent a lot of time
Oh, yeah.
with the Davidson family. When you dealt with segregation and race relations back then, how much did that help you to get through that period in your life, Condredge? Because you went to school with blacks and whites, you were best friends with this Christian Church of Christ white family. How much did that affect you going through the racism part of your life?
Well, like you said, I'm a Catholic, so I went to Catholic school, and we didn't know anything about segregation. Everybody went to school. If you could afford the tuition, you were there. So when all this transpired, and I saw all my friends that I'd gone to school with for 8 or 9 years all of a sudden split because of peer pressure and racial divide, so to speak. That's when I decided to put all my efforts into sports: football, basketball, baseball. And if you want to hang out with me, let's go out here and compete, because I don't have time for all that stuff you're doing off the field, worrying about what color somebody is. And when you know them, you've known them for 6 years, 7 years. I mean, you've been to my house, I've been to your house, and all of a sudden, some guy that has some kind of agenda to make gets you to say you don't even know who I am or don't want to talk to me. Well, good luck. Let's go play sports. And if you come out here and compete, I might beat you down.
I just might.
Just might.
And you use sports that way, did you not? I mean, that was your way of proving to people that there was no difference in your mind.
That's exactly what I did, and it was comfortable for me, because then I didn't have to answer any questions, because everything was done on the field. And you know, I have problems with the kids today. Well, coaches, he's prejudiced. He's not playing me because I'm black. He's not playing you because you're not a good quarterback. Coaches don't discriminate on talent. You ask any one of them, you take the best talent you can get, whether it's black, green, whatever color, and that's what you're going to do. So I don't buy that excuse anymore, and you know, that's a cop-out. That means you need to work a little harder, maybe pronate your wrist a little bit more, get the ball up and over. You know, that'll help you more so than I'm black and he's not playing me, or I'm Hispanic and he's not playing me, or I've heard the other way, I'm white and he won't play me at defensive back. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So come on.
Somebody asked him yesterday, so what were you thinking about when you were at Tennessee and being the first black quarterback? He goes, I was thinking about that defensive blitz and defensive.
Because he doesn't care if you're black.
Was it a conscious effort, or was it a conscious decision that you wanted to make that statement and be the first black quarterback in the SEC, or was it just, I want to go where I fit in the best and where I can play?
I went where somebody told me I could play quarterback. Everybody else said that wasn't going to be possible, which was fine with me. Coach Bryant told me that, and that was honest, and I was okay with that, because I had to make the final decision, and as long as I had the facts, I made the best decision I could. But you know, everybody, this first black quarterback thing, you know, in an hour and a half after our game, there was a guy named Melvin. Wait a minute, played at Mississippi State. I can't believe I can't.
Played the same day.
The same day.
But he
So
played
if we'd played an hour later,
He'd have been him.
he'd be on your show talking about yeah.
And don't tell where Kenny did.
Yeah, he wouldn't be doing the podcast.
His name was Melvin Barkham. That's his name, and he had a brother, Jerome, played tight end. But Melvin Barkham played at Mississippi State an hour and a half after we did that day. So
Where did this come from? I mean, this I know it's the year of the quarterback, and we all know Condredge here, and he's a legend. But was it you that went to ESPN, Kenny, or did they? I mean, how did this whole idea come about to make him one of the quarterbacks?
Well, ESPN. I worked with them on the Boys of Fall project,
Right.
the Boys of Fall movie, and Condredge was in that. And in that movie, you could tell that, you know, I say that he's one of my heroes growing up, and he's one of the guys that made me love sports in the first place. And this guy right here behind me, John Dahl at ESPN, saw that and called and asked me to make a film strictly on Condredge and his journey and the things he went through, and about Tennessee football and the history and what it, you know, just everything that encompasses all of that. And because Condredge's story is very inspiring. It's you know, he faced adversity. He doesn't like to talk about it that much, but he did. And I felt like that's a story that needed to be told. And so did John and everybody at ESPN. And they're still having, they have this year is the year of the quarterback. And I mean, he could probably answer it better than I can, but it was important. I felt like that story be told, and his story has never been told.
Well, I know it hasn't, and that to me is awesome.
Yeah. So congratulations, Condredge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
One thing, you were being recruited by Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and others, but you mentioned in this documentary that you respect and still respect Bear Bryant today because he was honest with you
Yes.
when he told you that he didn't think Alabama was ready for a black quarterback. Take us back. When he told you that, though, what was the first thing that entered your mind?
That I wasn't going to play quarterback in Alabama if I came there. I was going to play a different position, and I was not interested in playing a different position. In fact, now that I think about that, I probably should have used that against my mother to see if I could play baseball. I want to play quarterback. They're not going to let me play quarterback. They'll let me play shortstop.
Because I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you about that.
1971,
You would think that Randy would have helped make that decision.
Yeah.
Because, you take it nowadays, and Kenny, you have an association with a lot of professional athletes, to turn down, the fourth overall, or was it third? Fourth overall pick of the draft. First
not
round,
fourth round.
To turn down that money to play.
A kid.
Yeah. You just don't hear that nowadays. You don't hear, but it was your mom.
It goes back to the way he was brought up,
Exactly.
the values they had, and the vision. Her vision might not have been Condredge's at the time, but.
And the fact that you had to be 21 to sign a document alone.
She had you, didn't she? She had you,
strapped,
didn't
baby. She didn't argue with me much because she knew that's not going to happen. Yeah. You'll see her tonight. You're going to ask her about that.
I would love to ask her because that's a lot. You lived. She was a single parent, right?
Right.
At that time,
Yeah.
and she was one of those rare people that didn't see her future through her kid's future. She saw your future, and that's all she saw.
And I'll tell you another reason she did that, and she might not tell you this, but my mother was Dr. Werner von Braun's secretary with a master's degree. Secretary. So she knew how much, a black woman during that time, she had a master's degree and it was only a secretary. That's the highest job she could get.
And really did something very similar to what you did at NASA, right, in Huntsville. She was the first African American that worked there.
Yeah. So she knew how hard it was. She knew that the degree was necessary. And I always tell this story. Curtis is where it started it, but they always say, well, how long did it take you to graduate? And I always tell them it took 5 terms. Nixon, Reagan, Carter, Bush. Billy Joe
Parker. There you go.
There you go.
Would you have been a Hall of Famer if you'd have played Major League Baseball?
I have no idea. But
Probably.
I tell you what, there was another guy that was around the same time that went to baseball and didn't go to university, and his name was Robin Yow.
Ooh.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he was a pretty good player. Well, you were a pretty good player, too.
We had a chance.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. Then I want to start talking about when you came to Tennessee. Your first impressions once you got on campus. It's a little bit different when you're being recruited than when you actually sign the papers and come here and go away from home and all of that. I want to talk to you about that when we come back. Our guests are Condredge Holloway and Kenny Chesney. We're talking about The Color Orange. That'll premiere on ESPN Sunday night at 8 p.m. We'll have more in a moment with Doc, Jeff, and Heather in the morning on the Sports Animal.